Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jess, this is Melissa. Today we are doing our If I Were You series. Today we're pretending that we are moms working full-time jobs and we need to lose weight. And so what do we do? Well, no, moms with like, let's set the stage. Moms with like 3 kids who are all like need things. They have to be like driven around places and maybe like 1 young child.
I think that's pretty given as a mom. You just like know they have to be going to do things.
Unless you have like multiple infants, right? But like, all right, let's say we have a 12-year-old, you have kids, 9-year-old, and
you have kids that you have to care for,
3-year-old,
and you're a mom with kids that you have to care for.
Yeah, and you work a full-time job.
If we were moms that had kids we had to care for, and we worked a full-time job, and we needed to lose weight, this is what we would do to achieve our desired outcome.
We just want to start by saying we are not moms. We cannot at all understand what it's like to be a mom. We're just saying, hypothetically speaking, based off of all of the moms that we have worked with, that have multiple children, that work full-time jobs, that are some of the busiest people that we actually know. These are the tactics, the strategies, the things that we've implemented with them that have gotten them amazing results. So we want to share that with you as well.
Sure, we want to share that.
I have strawberry in my teeth from like the dry fruit that you guys sent me. No, it's fine.
Yes, we are not moms, so please no one come on here and then like be a keyboard warrior in the comments and be like, oh my god, but you're not a mom, so you don't know what it's like. Okay, yes, we don't know what it's like, but we have worked with moms before in our program, so based on the advice that we've given them that has worked, we're going to give you that same advice here.
Let's start with nutrition, because most moms that we work with are so busy between all of your kids, between your job, between everything else that's going on, that when we first talk to moms, the first thing that they say is, I don't even want to have to think about it. Just tell me what to do. Like, I don't want to have to think. I don't want to have to plan. I don't want to do anything. Just tell me what foods I can eat. Give me a meal plan. I don't care. Just tell me and I'll do it.
And you say that, and this is why you have done all the programs like Jenny Craig or Nutrisystems or anything that you just kind of find that it kind of gives you like a meal plan of like eat, grilled chicken and a vegetable for dinner and eat, a piece of toast and peanut butter for breakfast. And like, it just kind of gives you like things to eat because you don't have to think about it. The problem is like you say you want these things because in your head you're so busy and overwhelmed. But when it comes to it, it's always mom that's like the outcast in the family. You're always kind of sitting on the sidelines, making sure your family's taken care of. And you're just suffering because you think that that's just kind of what your role is. Like, you have to do this diet and suffer through it because your family needs to eat normal food and you can't have it.
Number 1, you're just setting yourself up for that like polarization from your family. Number 2, you're setting a poor example for your children of why can't mommy eat that food? Like, so their food is good or food is bad. So we're kind of setting that up from the beginning. The third part is that it's something you're not gonna be able to stick to, because eventually it's gonna be your kid's birthday. You guys are gonna go out to family dinner. You're gonna wanna go on vacation. You're gonna have things that crop up in your life that you're not gonna just wanna eat off of a meal plan or just eat Optivia's fuelings or anything like that. And you're gonna wanna eat real food. This is why you keep losing weight and gaining it back, because you go from these extremes of just tell me what to eat and I'll eat it to I don't wanna eat that shit anymore. I just want like real food. And this is why we have this constant like yo-yo back and forth. First things first, we're not just gonna be told what to do. We're not just gonna mindlessly follow a plan. We are going to learn the nutritional value of food. We like to do this with our clients by using calorie cycling and make sure that they are weighing their food, logging their food, and tracking it in some type of a calorie tracking app. Most of our clients use MyFitnessPal. So that's where you would need to start, is actually understanding, how much food that you should be eating and the calorie value of that food and the makeup of that food, right? Is it protein? Is it carbs? Is it fat? So that's kind of like our basis. The other thing that we need to understand when it comes to nutrition is we're gonna have to be efficient. You're not gonna be able to sit there and slave away at gourmet meals every single day. We're gonna need to think about how do we bulk prep things in advance that you can eat, but that your family can also eat.
Yeah.
So do you want to go through some examples of that?
Yeah, like I would argue that moms are some of the busiest people on the planet.
Sure.
Like, just, having to take care of your whole family, plus like work a job. Even if you don't work, like, it's still like a lot to take care of a family, take care of kids. I can't even imagine that. Everything that you're gonna do, you're gonna want to be as efficient as possible in this, because it's really gonna come down to your success is determined on how well you can pre-plan.
Yeah.
But if you are just kind of like leaving like your food choices or dinners or lunches or any of your meals in general to chance, you're probably not gonna be very successful, because you're pulled in so many different directions, especially when like you're really stressed and then you have to stop and think about what can I eat for lunch right now, or what can I have for like a snack before dinner. It's just gonna like make your head explode, then you're probably gonna grab for something unhealthy make a bad choice and then regret it later and be like, this is why I can't stick to anything. So
like, we know what that feels like, right? When you don't have food when you don't have food in the house, like, and then you're just get to that point where you're like beyond whatever, it's like, let me just grab a couple of chips because I'm hungry, and you're craving something as opposed to like satiating your actual hunger.
Exactly. Something that I have found is very helpful for a lot of moms is almost to kind of like, I know that like you probably make a grocery list when you go to the grocery store, right? So something that I have suggested is to almost make like a dinner menu for the week. That way you kind of know, what every night loosely looks like for dinner. Obviously you go grocery shopping for that, but then it's something where like you could go into MyFitnessPal and log dinner for the entire week, and then you already kind of know what you're having for dinner. Usually you have the same breakfast every morning. I don't know a lot of people who like have a brand new different gourmet breakfast every single day, so I would even go in and like log breakfast of the week. Like take time on like Saturday or Sunday to like plan this out, actually make a dinner menu, go in, like log all your food, log your breakfast. I usually kind of have the same lunch-ish, but like leave that one kind of blank, and then like morning of you could go in, or like night before, if like you make your lunch the night before, you can go in. Snacks are a good thing. That's kind of easy of, usually every afternoon, like you have this chocolate or like this fruit or yogurt or whatever it is. So the best thing that you can do as a busy mom is pre-plan your food as far in advance as you can. And I know for some people this feels crazy, and it's like, well, then I feel like there's too much structure. At least it's a placeholder, and you know that, you have 500 calories, 600 calories for dinner, X amount of calories for lunch, X amount of calories for breakfast. You can always make swaps, but the calories are usually about the same. It's not like you're gonna have like 1,000 calorie higher dinner or something like than what you had planned.
Right, and I think like what you were saying too about if you don't want to go in and like eat the same snacks every day, give yourself like a buffer for that snack, right? Like my snack every day has to be within 200 calories. So when you do make your list for the week, maybe you have like an apple and peanut butter, like give yourself like 3 snack options for the week. If you're someone that needs variety or you don't like being locked into like having such structure, pick out 3 snacks or like 2 different breakfasts that you're gonna go back and forth between that have around the same number of calories. Same thing when it comes to lunch. Maybe this week is gonna be I'm making wraps for lunch every day, but I'm gonna give myself 2 different types of wraps that I'll alternate between, right? It doesn't have to be something like amazing and new every single day. You can switch it up week over week. I think the other thing, what you were saying about like planning your groceries in advance, or your dinners, your meals in advance, that's something that's really helpful. When you are trying to lose weight, it's really important to make sure you're getting in enough protein. One of the hardest things is to make sure that you have enough protein consistently on hand. One of our favorite tips is to make protein in bulk. An example of this could be, and we want to think about making protein in bulk in a way that's going to be able to feed you and feed your family.
Right.
Okay, so a good example of this would be getting like 93.7 like lean ground beef, right? So you have ground beef, get enough of it for 2 meals, cook it all at once, like in one night, and then you have the opportunity to use that in maybe like pasta with a meat sauce like marinara sauce, and then you have another night
or something,
a Big Mac bowl, and then you can do tacos with it. And then the nice part about calorie cycling is that you're able to eat any type of food that you want, but you can decide how to make it more or less caloric. So if you do taco night and your kids want taco night, that's great and that's fun for your kids. Maybe if you don't have a whole lot of calories to work with, you do a taco salad and you just have one shell that you like crumble on top. That way you're still having the same type of food as your family without feeling like you have to have something completely different.
Yeah, that is the nice thing about like cooking meats in bulk is then you're kind of set for the week. Something that I would do is like, I think of like, if I make burgers, right? Like I'll make enough for us for the night, but then I always make enough for dinner for like one of the nights during the week, because if I'm really busy and I just want to heat up, a burger patty, or if I want to have on a salad for lunch, like there's so many different things you can do. And so again, like even if you don't want to reuse like the meat for your family, you have lunch for yourself.
Right.
When we're talking about being efficient, you want to make sure you're pre-planning. You want to make sure like dinners are planned for, you're logging in MyFitnessPal ahead of time, and then do as much as you can to almost like double the portion size, because whether it's to feed your family again for the week or to feed yourself for lunch, like that is efficiency at its finest of just making sure like you are covered. And then you're not working, twice as hard just to try to get your protein and your calories in and like figure out your food.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there'll probably be some people, because if you're like me, I get really overwhelmed at like having to pre-plan like everything for the week. I don't do well at that. One thing I do is I try to pre-plan for like 2 days in advance, right? So if feeling like you have to pre-plan for the entire week is too much, try just looking at it in 2-day increments. And one of the most helpful things that you can do is sit down at least, and plan your next day as much as you possibly can. And it takes literally 10, 15 minutes at the end of the night when you're new to this. When you're a pro, it's going to take you like 3 minutes to plan out your entire day. So put in the reps in practice. And I know that there are going to be moms that would be like, I don't even have time to sit down for 15 minutes. I'm going to call BS on that.
When you're pooping, when you're going to the bathroom.
That's what moms do, right? They lock themselves in the bathroom so that their kid is like, Mom, let me in. You're like, no, go away.
No,
sit on the toilet and log your things, right? Or when you're in school pickup line, or you're waiting for to pick up your kid from soccer practice.
Soccer practice, yeah. Here's a thing that you could do, which we're gonna get into next.
Yes.
For exercise, walk laps around soccer fields and plan tomorrow.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Do your best to, what you said, pre-plan. That's going to be the most important thing for you, because otherwise, what are we doing? We're leaving everything to chance, and you know that at the end of the day, you are going to make sure that all of your family's needs are taken care of before your own. If you leave things to chance, and then you're going to be in a place where you're like, well, I'm not sticking to my goals, and I don't know why. You need to carve out that 15 minutes for yourself every day.
I have something to add to this topic, because we're going to go on to exercise next.
Okay.
Are we?
Yeah, boss.
Okay. I want to talk about pre-planning, and I think this is very important for moms. When you make lunches, or when you're making any type of snack for your kid, we have seen so many times that you're eating the crust, or you're just having a bite, or you're having a chicken nugget, or you're always kind of picking at your kid's food, right? They don't finish it. You're kind of like, oh, it's just one. It's just one. Oh, it's just the crust. Doesn't matter. It matters. I had a client who had a really hard time with this. She's like, no matter what I do, I cannot not pick at my kids' food. And I was like, okay. I'm like, well, do they typically have the same thing? She's like, yeah, it's usually chicken nuggets, peanut butter and jelly, whatever. I'm like, okay. So I want you to actually weigh out, do this, go weigh out what the crust weighs, what the bread weighs, what the peanut butter weighs, and what the jelly weighs, and you can actually create a food in MyFitnessPal of that bite, and then just log it for the day, log the chicken nugget, log whatever it is that you are eating, and then if you happen to not eat it, great, now you can add another dessert, or you can have something additional in your day. But if that is something that trips you up, and even if you don't realize you're doing it, you're probably doing it, and that over time, that can add up. That can put you at a calorie deficit so quick.
Yeah, especially because kids' foods aren't the most calorie friendly, right?
Yeah.
So even with Michelle, we have a sister who's significantly younger than us, and I remember, being 14, 15, 16 years old, mom being like, can you make your sister some mac and cheese? And it's stirring the pot. Oh, okay, it's almost ready. Yeah. And then you put it on her plate, lick the spoon one more time. Yeah.
I'm in the pan. Feed our sister.
Orange just all over.
I'll clean up.
I gotta clean up, don't worry. That adds up really fast, right? Just a bite or 2 bites that you're unknowingly taking can easily be over 100 calories. And then you do that 3, 4, 5 times a day. That's an extra 500 calories that you can have a whole extra meal. I think that's really important, and just be mindful of it. If you're not in a place where you want to log it and track it yet, at least write it down somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? Every time you have a bite, taste of anything, make a note of it, and then start logging against it, and you're gonna be like, well, shit, that's where all my calories are coming from.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Other thing that I would say too, when it comes to nutrition, is wherever you are in terms of your family dynamic. So if you have to take your 3 kids to 3 different sports, if you are someone who's constantly on the go for work, or it's late nights and you don't feel like cooking sometimes, pick out your hot spots for on-the-go food or fast food. So you know that if after a long day of soccer practice, you're not going to want to cook and the kids want to go to McDonald's, what is the thing that you can get from McDonald's that is not going to put you way over, that you can kind of build into that?
Something that we would have our clients do too is same thing what you're saying. If Friday is pizza night, the pizza should be the first thing that you log. I don't care what you say to me. If you're telling me you're only going to have 1 piece and you're going to have a salad, you're not only going to have 1 piece, you're probably going to have 2. I would log 3 pieces and then work your entire day around those 3 pieces. If you don't have the 3rd piece, have the 3rd piece. You logged it. If it fits in your day, eat it. If you don't have it, you can have a bigger dessert or a glass of wine. You need to be this is the biggest thing, is you need to be realistic. It's one thing to like you've been trying to be good for years, so now it's time to actually be realistic and build your diet around your lifestyle so that you can actually make progress and you're not slamming your head against the wall trying to be like, why can't I stick to anything, you know, I can't enjoy my life. Log the takeout food. I think that's a great idea of like kind of having your go-to places. I'm sure you already have those, so it's just a matter of, okay, well, typically like on this night we go here, so like let me just kind of like pre-log that, and then you kind of like make the meal on MyFitnessPal.
Yeah.
And then you just quickly add it in.
Or just start to get a sense of what the calories are, right? Like when I go to Chick-fil-A, I know that I usually spend like 600 calories. I know when I go to McDonald's, I spend 450 calories. When we go to Arby's, I spend 700 calories. Whatever it is, start looking at your calorie banks for each of those hot spots and know ahead of time, well, tonight might be one of those days where I spend 600 calories, so let's pre-log it as a buffer, and then like you said, everything else gets like built in around that, which is huge.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay.
On to exercise. I love that idea, what you said, of if you're waiting for your kids from practice or even in like, you know, the parking lot to pick them up after school or things like that, what should you be doing?
I mean, you're sitting in your car idling for how long? Like, park it maybe in the parking lot and tell your kid, like, I'm gonna come walk and like meet you at school or whatever, like from the parking lot, and then you walk back to the car. You're getting steps in. Or like while you're sitting there waiting at soccer practice, baseball practice, whatever it is, like maybe just see if like one of the other parents wants to go for a walk with you. Like there's other people that probably also want to move, but it's like, well, everyone's just kind of sitting here talking. Right. Just be like, do you mind if I want to get steps in? Like I've been sitting all day, like you want to like walk and talk, and just like go for, like move your body a little bit. Like you're outside, you're already in nature, like just go for a walk, and then obviously if like you're by yourself, then you can do the pre-planning, double stack it,
right? And
it's a win-win. Anything and everything that you can think of where you're like waiting for your kids is time for you to be able to move a little bit.
Move, and then like, you know, get the data in place that you need for yourself in order to be successful. When it comes to workouts, this is another thing that we see moms usually overcommit to. They're like, well, I'm gonna wake up every morning at 4 a.m. to go to Orange Theory before everyone wakes up. And then it turns into but I was up like till, you know, 12 p.m. the night before, packing everyone's lunches and doing laundry.
And then you're resentful of your family because they need everything.
No one has time. I never have time for me
because
because everyone needs everything from me. 100%, I understand it, but you're also like the creator of your prison. We had a client, Nicole, who actually, like, this was a big light bulb moment for her where she was like, I realized that I was putting everything on myself and I didn't want to have to ask my kids for help. I didn't want to have to ask my husband to go do things. And I was just like, I'll just take care of it for everyone because that's just what I was used to doing. And then I realized exactly what you said. I was becoming resentful because I'm like, well, I have no time for myself because I'm busy. And then I finally started asking for things. You go clean up your room. Hey, you go pick up this. Hey, husband, make sure you bring home, like, you stop at the grocery store on the way home.
Can you make dinner tonight? Like, can you do the dishes? Like, can you help me? Because I need time for me.
Yeah, and she said when I finally started asking for those things, number one, I realized the world did not fall apart. Number two, like, my kids started becoming a lot more independent. And number three, like, my husband really started valuing all of the stuff that I was doing and how much time it took me because he finally realized how much time went into it. But then the best part about it, she's like, I got time back for myself and I was happier because I was taking time for myself.
And that's the thing is, but like by you creating that prison of like resenting everyone, but like you do everything. Number one, yes, like you're like incapacitating everyone, like you're making everyone like depend on you. And then you're silently building resentment towards everyone because then like you're like, well, I do everything, but you also kind of
want to
initiate
everything.
That. Right. And then so you're actually more miserable doing that versus when you do ask for help, when you do have like your family helping you a little bit, when you do put yourself first and you're able to go get your workout in, you're going to be happier to them. They're going to be happier because they're not terrified of like mom's in a bitchy mood. Yeah, like mom's pissed. Like everyone hide, right?
She pulled in a driveway, take cover.
So it's actually more beneficial for you and your family if you get your workout in.
Yeah. But that being said, don't overcommit to your workouts, right? Like you're probably not going to go 5 days a week. You're probably not going to do like twice a day workouts where you go for a run in the morning and then work out at night. Pick a manageable number of times that you can show up to your workouts. And if that's only 2 times a week right now, like that's okay. That's your life. It doesn't have to be 2 times a week for the rest of your life, but maybe that's better than nothing right now. And this is the most important part, is that we start to get good at keeping the commitments that we made to ourselves. So if at least you commit to 2 times a week, you can do 1 during the week. You can always do 1 on the weekend, right? But I'm sure that you can find 30 minutes twice a week to get in a workout for yourself.
And here's the thing, like even if you are working out from home, if you have young kids who are home, like they're not in school, even if you're working out and they're interrupting you, at least number one, you're still doing something, so it's better than nothing. And number two, you're setting an example for your kids. Like, they're watching you, and it's like, well, mom's working out to get strong. Like, don't obviously like say it's punishment for anything. Like, it's like your mom's working out to get stronger because you feel good doing it. Your kids are watching that.
Yeah, mom feels better when she does this. Mom likes to do this because like mom, you know, feels better mentally and emotionally when I do this.
Yes.
I think that that's so important, and just making sure that you are kind of giving yourself grace for all of the things that can potentially go wrong. Because when you set yourself up for that black or white, like everything has to be perfect, I have to hit my nutrition spot on every day, I have to hit all my workouts and all of my steps, and you put that expectation on yourself, that's just a false expectation that is probably never going to come true. So giving yourself some wiggle room to say, you know what, if I can do this 5 days out of the week, that's great. I'm happy with that for right now. If I can do it 6 days out of the week, even better.
Right.
But try not to get so rigid in like, well, if I can't do everything, then I shouldn't do anything at all. And I think in hierarchy of like importance, most important things are going to be getting your nutrition straight, getting your steps in. Like, those are like 1 and 2. Your workouts can take a back seat for now until you get 1 and 2 on lock. Lockdown. Yeah, until you can get 1 and 2 locked down.
So we hope this was helpful for you. If you are a busy mom, if you are looking for a little bit more accountability or more guidance or direction, we do have our Legacy program, and in there we have on-demand workouts that go from anywhere from 10 minutes to 45 minutes. So if you just only have 10 minutes in the day, you can pop that on, get a really good workout in.
From home.
Yeah.
Yep. Doing like with minimal equipment too, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to have a whole lot of equipment.
We have ones that are like, you know, apartment friendly. So if you have neighbors, you like, it's all like we cover all bases with those. And then on the nutrition side of things, we have all family friendly recipes in there. So many ideas for you to be able to make for dinners, for desserts, breakfast, lunch, like literally everything. So like your family will love it. You're going to love it. It's macro friendly, calorie friendly.
It's all quick, easy. Everything is done under 30 minutes, like a lot of one sheet type of thing. So if you need things that you and your family can both eat, this is a home run.
So make sure to check out Legacy in the description below, and hopefully we'll see you there.